check the stream on Twitch and see how it's going with the streaming on Twitch. With the streaming and the gleaming and the glavin. Here we go. Okay, that's working. Dementia Radio now. And recording in 3, 2, 1.
Recorded live on DementiaRadio.org, it's the Funny Music Podcast. Brought to you by FuMP.com, where you can download new free comedy songs twice a week. Now, here's your hosts, Devo Spice and the great Luke Ski.
Hey, Devo Spice.
Hey, Luke Ski.
What the hell is going on this week?
We have pre-recorded interviews coming up later in the show with Joe J. Thomas and another one with both Carla, Ulbrich, and Bill Larkin. So it'll be Bill's first appearance on the FuMPCast. Welcome to episode 781 of the Funny Music Podcast. Title of this week's episode is Extended Lick. Good luck, dude. Because the other option was too easy. So, okay, let's do this.
Let's get caught up with what Devo and Luke have been up to since last week. Or else Devo, if Luke failed and didn't show up.
Hey, what?
Oh, he's right.
So, Luke, what you been up to?
Well, at the immediate moment, I was trying to get the Bluetooth speaker to connect to DJ Rex here, and it says it's connected, but there's no audio coming out from Rex, so that's confusing to me. I don't know why. Let's see, what else can I talk about?
That is a cool R2-D2 hat. I like that.
Well, thank you. I got it at Disney. It came out recently.
I figured.
So, where's my calendar? I mean, the overall thing I've been, trying to focus on the most over the past week is slowly getting the boulder rolling of me working on my animatic, and I actually have, made a decent amount of progress over the past week, and I decided to go, like, I basically figured out how to quickly do the math, like, after I have a day, or a session of, well, kind of at the end of each day when I get to the point of, like, okay, I'm stopping for the day, I'm going to see what part is roughly, at what point at which the rough boarding is complete, and then kind of mark how long a time that is, and then divide that by the total amount of time, which will give me, like, the percentage of how much of this is rough boarded. So I did that. I posted the other day that I'm at the 11% mark. So I am hoping to greatly increase that and increase my pace working on this over the coming week. So that makes me feel real good that I'm making progress on that, because I'm concerned, like, that if I don't pick up the pace on working on this, it's not going to be even rough completed, by the time I need to stop working on it and, get a day job again.
Yeah.
So I at least want to get to that point before I have to go back to work. Ooh. So that's a thing. My friend Morgan had a birthday party out at the Disneyland Hotel, where she got a hotel room. So I went and hung out there with her and Tony and Kit and some other people, and that was fun. And yeah, last night I went out to the Best Buy in Burbank and I got my Stitch 2. So last night I hopped on and I played 50 cc's of the 8 circuits, and I came in first place on all of them because obviously 50 cc is like the easiest level.
Yeah.
There was some close calls there though. So and there's a new trick you can do with the cars that I'm still trying to get the handle of how to make this trick work. I was able to do it accidentally a couple of times, and then after I got done doing the 8 circuits, I went into free roaming mode so that I could just kind of experiment and, see if I could get the hang of doing that trick. So I still need to work on it some, but now I'm out here at Kalani's, and she got her Switch 2 this afternoon, and she's downloaded Mario Kart World, and we're going to play some of that later on. So that will be a lot of fun. So that's basically what I've been up to. What have you been up to, Devo?
Well, instead of waiting in line to get a Switch 2, I decided to wait in line to go on rides at Great Adventure today. So I don't have a Switch 2 yet, but I'm going to be calling around soon to try to get some. But yeah, Darren and I went to Great Adventure today because they have a new roller coaster that I was dying to try out. It was supposed to open last year and it got delayed. It's called Flash Vertical Velocity, and it's a shuttle coaster, which just means it goes back and forth on the track. And it even while they were previewing it, I thought theming it to the Flash was a weird choice because it's not a particularly fast coaster. It top speeds at about 60 miles an hour, which is, fast enough. But, I mean, they just tore down Kinda Ka, which went 123. So, big difference there. So, it's a fun coaster. But like when we first got there was a huge line for it. And I'm estimating somewhere in like the 2-hour range. And I asked Darren if he wanted to wait or come back later, and he was like, no, let's just come back later. So we hit the rest of the park and then came back towards the end of the day after all like the field trip buses had left, and there was like a 10-minute wait. So we were able to get in and go on at it with a reasonable wait. It is a fun coaster. I don't think it's worth a 2-hour wait. I don't. Few things are. This is not one of them. But it's worth riding. It's a lot of fun. I also posted a new short of What's Up Spock. I did the Lower Decks verse. So I posted that. And I realized I haven't been posting any of these to Blue Sky. So I'm going to try to rectify that. I don't know if there's going to be much of an audience on Blue Sky, but it's worth a shot. And then...
At some point, I don't know when it was, a couple months ago, I decided to stop posting on Twitter just because of all the things and not wanting to support Elon and etc. I still have the account. I just put up an image with a Post-it note saying fascism sucks and to, follow me other places. But yeah, it's like I've just been using it, posting stuff there just like I post to Instagram and Threads, and it is what it is, kind of.
And also yesterday I went to see Bring Her Back, which is a movie by the same people who did Talk to Me. And man, that film is messed up. Good stuff, but messed up. So anyway, we'll have more to talk about during the news. So let's get into our first song of the week, which is Prez Like Me by Joe J. Thomas.
I've been convicted of 34 felonies with 1,000 more on my tail. I never pay any of my attorney fees, and half my lawyers have been sent to jail. With crazy billionaires in my pocket, now poorly educated voters in my camp. Well, on those snowflake woke-up libs, kapow, you picked an idiot for your champ. And I say, hey, angry racist rubes, I'll make you rich, you'll see. Let me promise you some crazy shit. You ain't never had a prez like me. This is your country now, a dictatory regime. 'Cause I'll never give you what you want. You ain't never had a prez like me. Yes, sir, I got some secret service. I'm the boss, the king, you slobs. It's what I wish. Go take a piss. Gonna fire you from your jobs. I'll sink the stock market and crash the economy. Raise the gas and food. Screw all you dudes. You ain't never had a prez like me. Hamburger, drinking bleach, coffee, is your prez a jerk? Is your prez real crass? Does your prez have his head off his big fat ass? Can your prez fool you? Well, looky here. Gonna take your benefits rights, your future and freedoms, and make them all disappear. So don't you moan and groan about this shit. You morons only got yourselves to blame. Despite the lies, the vote is certified. The country's never gonna be the same. Things are great for me, not so much for you. I thrive on pain and woe. The nasty, evil things I'll do. Deport your uncle to Guantanamo. From the Gulf of America and sea to stinking sea. My MAGA mob are here to rob. You ain't never had a press, things are gonna miss. You ain't never had a press, straight from the abyss. You ain't never had a press like me. Putin's pal, brainworm guy, Nazi nerds, pedophiles, musket boy. Now get ready for my term 3. Ha!
I am here with Joe J. Thomas. How you doing, Joe?
I'm doing okay.
Joe is coming to us wisely from Barcelona because he has fled the country and like so many of us want to.
For no apparent reason.
For no reason whatsoever. Just
No
reason whatsoever. So tell us about this song.
Well, I'm in a group that does weekly song challenges where you have to sing a particular song style or thing, and they went off on Disney musicals for one thing, and they were doing Wicked or Wizard of Oz or any song from The Wiz or any of those. And so I did that, and then I thought, well, I love Disney songs. What other Disney songs are there? And I listened to, Robin Williams doing Genie, singing Friend Like Me, and I went, this is such a great song. Somebody's got to have written a parody about this. And I didn't find any other parodies of this song. So I thought, okay, well, it's been a while since I made fun of the Orange Felon, so let's head in that direction. But I listened to my other songs that I'd done about Trumpty Dumpty, and I think a lot of them had what I wanted to happen rather than what was going on. So this time I just focused on, let's just talk about him. He likes that. I like
He
that.
does, in fact, yes.
So I just basically said things that were true, convicted of felonies and lies all the time, and, has Russians doing things for him. And it's like, okay, sure, I'll just do that, and I won't put any wishful thinking in it, and we'll see what happens. So
The only other parody of Friend Like Me that I'm aware of is in one of Luke Ski's medleys. I think it's When You Wish Upon a Death Star. He talks about Boba Fett, and you ain't never had a Fett like me.
Oh,
But it's just a short clip. It's not the whole song.
okay, I'll have to go back and listen to that one then. Yeah. I also like this song because, unlike other songs, I got to do jazz hands while singing.
Which we can all see in an audio medium. So
Yeah.
so this wasn't the song you wrote for the group.
No. For the group, I just picked a normal Disney song and just did that.
Okay.
And,
I was going to
did
ask
something-
what their take on the song was, but
Yeah, I don't usually send them the parody versions of stuff. Although I have done that in the past. Somebody suggested a song that I really hated, and so I made an entire parody of it and posted that and said, sorry, but I can't sing the song. I can't sing the song like it is because I just thought it was so whiny, and like, okay, I'll just sing it this other way.
cool. Well, that works.
Yeah.
So how are things in Barcelona?
Today, not bad. Although, like, this week has been really like hot and muggy kind of weather. Like in on the East Coast, when I lived in Cleveland, you'd have that 2-month span where it was 80s and really muggy, kind of by the lake, and then the rest of the year was pretty good, except for the freezing cold. Here, it usually gets warm, but now it's getting warmer, and it's always kind of muggy. So we're now thinking of escaping from here to south of France. So now I've got my schedule filled up with learning piano, writing songs, and learning French now.
Sure.
Apparently
What's the take in Barcelona on what's happening in the U.S. right now?
There's, it's surprising. There's a lot of people who are just like, shrug, we don't care.
It's not our problem.
It's not our problem, and I think there's actually like a movement in the world where they're looking at the US going, yeah, well, we're just going to find other trading partners.
Yeah.
And we're just going to find other ways to ship our goods around. And China's like, hey, we can help with that. And so, after this whole debacle is done, the U.S. is going to be like, we're still here. Anybody want to trade with us?
Yeah, it's going to be, it's probably shouldn't say that, but it's like, it's like, God, I don't even know how to describe this without being problematic. But like every 4 years, there's like, it's going to be a complete tonal shift. So it's like, why would any other country want to even partner with us anymore? Because in 4 years, things are going to be completely different.
Yeah, it was okay when it was like, okay, the policies are a little different.
Yeah.
And now the policies are a little different this way. And it was this subtle, now it's like, being on one of those carnival boat rides where it swings you in one direction and it swings you in the other. And you're like, I don't know what they're going to do next. And, fine, we'll deal with you when you're okay. And when you're not, we'll just deal with somebody else. Like I've got a French teacher online, and I was talking about it, and she's like, oh, come on, it's really not that bad. He's going to be gone at some point. And my wife's like, here's the perspective. This is, America's so young as a country. They're basically like teenagers at this point, and they're having a tantrum. She's like, they don't have the experience of, we're Italians. We used to own the world. We're French. We used to run the world. Yeah, we're the Brits. We used to run the world. They don't have that. We were number one, and now, we're just part of the team, and we're out there, and sometimes you lose, and sometimes you win. Americans are like, we're not winning enough. We need to win more. And you go, you're going to win all the time. It's been a good run, but you're kind of on the down, and then you'll be up again, and then you'll be down. And,
I hadn't thought about that, but yeah, that's a very European perspective because they're so much older.
Yeah. And I mean, I've literally heard one of the ministers for China come out and say, what do we care? We've been around 5,000 years.
Right?
We got like 1.4 trillion people, or 1.4 billion people on the planet. What do we care? You're here. You're like this little tiny speck out there on the timeline. And, if you last, great, we'll keep dealing with you. But otherwise, we'll deal with the next country that comes along.
Exactly.
Like, 5,000 years. Little difference between 5,000 and 250. So.
So do you have anything you'd like to plug?
No, but I would like to say that I heard the news about Dr. Demento and that he's winding things down on his regular show, and just, wishing him a fantastic whatever it is he wants to do next, and hoping he thoroughly enjoys himself, because he was such a, I sent him a quick note today and I said, hey, just wanted to let you know, when I was growing up, I was kind of the odd one in the family, and I didn't fit in too well. And I listened to your show, and I thought, hey, maybe odd's okay. Maybe being different's not a bad thing. Maybe it's cool. And that's probably part of how I ended up where I'm at, doing what I do and writing these things. And who knew that I would actually end up on his show? I'm like, that was unbelievable. So. I think a lot of us have similar stories. Loads of appreciation for the guy and how much he's done and how much entertainment he's brought too.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's all I wanted to close. I'm not going to plug any of my stuff because I'll have more stuff in the future.
All right, then. Thank you for joining us.
Cool.
We'll catch you next time.
Thank you, sir.
This is the FuMP.
Cause she said, baby, there's so much more. Just wait. Come on in, everybody. My wife's into 5 ways. And I was excited, but this feels wrong. If I had it my way, we'd have invited some girls along.
When I fell head over heels for Billy Squire and the heavenly harmony of Billy's choir, I'd get it on with Bob Seger too, just as long as Bob Seger too. Oh, don't get me started on a car, don't
Funny Music Project at thefump.com. THEFUMP.com.
Second week of deer camp, drinking the beer.
Open up the door, it's Dave.
Man, Dave's not here.
Time for funny music news. Something. Hey, Devo.
Yes.
Before the news starts, I want to say a few things, okay?
Sure.
First of all, the Yamaha mixing console MG10/2 plus ART Professional 2-mic preamp that I announced as for sale on eBay. There are, let's see, the bidding ends in 12 minutes at the top of the hour. Only one person has bid on it for the starting bid price of $13.27. Plus shipping, which is only like it's $26.30 because I'm sitting at USPS Priority Mail. So if anybody wants to get on that deal, get in on that deal. Go to eBay.com and search for my username, which is the Great Luke Ski, all is one word, lowercase, and look for that. And you can get a bid on it. Maybe you can snipe it, and I mean, if the first bidder gets it, fine, whatever. I don't care, but I just find it shocking that nobody else has been on this thing all week. So, anyway, what the heck just happened with that thing? Oh, there it is. Okay. So that's a thing I wanted to mention. Secondly, I wanted to mention that Kalani was laughing listening to Joe J. Thomas's song. She thought it was very funny. And thirdly, I wanted to point out another significant parody of the song "Friend Like Me" that exists. It was actually done by Gilbert Gottfried. Back in I don't know if this webpage doesn't say what year it happened, but at some point in Walt Disney World, the Florida one, they closed the Enchanted Tiki Room, the one with all the birds singing, from 1963, and they opened it. They reopened it, adding an animatronic Iago the parrot and an animatronic Zazu from The Lion King. And they called it Enchanted Tiki Room under new management. And so the show starts like normal, and then all of a sudden you hear from somewhere, "Stop the music! Stop the music! Everybody stop!" And like Iago gets lowered down on his own like thing, and he basically starts kind of yelling at the birds there, saying that like he and Zazu have now taken over, and they now run the Enchanted Tiki Room. And they're going to make it, a new hip show that modern audiences are going to be interested in seeing, because the show that they've been doing for years is so boring. So I'll just do the very beginning of it, just because I don't want to make this the whole episode. But he goes, he's leading into the song. He says, "Now listen, you bird brains. If you're gonna keep your jobs, you got to get hip. I know all about hip. See." Then the music kicks in. "Because I'm a very famous movie star, and all of Hollywood drops my name. Who cares about a living? I'm the one with all the looks and fame. I got 1 million crackers in the bank, and I plan to get 1 zillion more. And you guys will have me to thank when they're lining up at the door. You boring tiki birds, I'm a big celebrity. That's why I'm gonna go and change your show. Ain't it great to have a friend like me?" And then it goes on with the birds talking back and stuff. So you can actually see the footage of it or listen to the song if you just go to YouTube and look up Enchanted Tiki Room under new management, Friend Like Iago or Friend Like Me. And I'm sure there have been other parodies of Friends Like Me, but that was the first thing I thought of when you brought up the whole idea of, it's like, oh, the most important parody of Friend Like Me, done by Gilbert Gottfried. Anyway.
That's awesome. I've never heard about that one.
Yeah, it's great. It's great. So anyway, the news.
The news. Really, the only news we have to talk about this week is that Dr. Demento has announced his retirement, and I got permission to play this clip, so I will let Dr. Demento explain.
And now I have a special announcement. I'm now 84 years old, and I have been doing the show for nearly 55 years, about 2/3 of my life. It's been a blast, but I've come to the decision that I need to hang up my top hat soon. The show you just heard is the last of my regular shows, but there is more to come. Starting next week and continuing bi-weekly for the next few months, I'll be presenting newly written and recorded retrospective shows covering my entire career as Dr. Demento, taking a deep dive into the history and the music. On alternating weeks, I'll be presenting flashback shows covering roughly the same time period as the previous week's retrospective. In October, I'll be counting down the top 40 songs throughout the entire 55-year history of the show, preceded by a couple other special shows you'll be hearing more about soon. For those who are monthly or yearly subscribers, look for a forthcoming email from Mysterious Moe's regarding some changes. We plan to not only keep the site available, but to continue adding new archive content for many years to come, so you will be able to still get your prescribed dosage of dementia. Stay tuned for more details.
So, yeah, Dr. Demento is going to be retiring later this year. As he said, he's doing retrospective shows every other week until October, culminating in a top 40 countdown of the all-time most requested songs on his show. October is the anniversary of the show, so this will be the 55th anniversary of the show is when he's going to end it. This triggered a whole bunch of people online posting memories about how they got involved in the show, how they first heard the show, and all the memories going back to the beginning of the show. I posted a very long statement on Facebook that I cross-posted to the news section at devospice.com. So if you don't follow me on Facebook, you can read it over on my website. And I know Shoebox posted one. Luke, you posted one, right?
Actually, I didn't.
You didn't. Okay, Ian did.
Yeah. Basically, everybody except me did. Yeah, just, I mean, I may at some point, I kind of felt like in the moment that I just had, I have, everybody who listens to the show knows I have been, whining and complaining about not getting to work on my animatic forever, and now I have this time to work on it. And if I start writing about my feelings about Barry and what he's meant to me in my life, it will turn into, a 2 or 3 week, essay, to write and or to read. So, plus the fact that, I've done, I did, I'd like to thank the power of the Force for telling me to remake the Doctor and William, because some part of me has been saying, God, that was such a I didn't really need to do that song. I wanted to do it, but I didn't really need to do it. And now it's like, oh, it's a really freaking good thing that I did that. And also just Tony's appreciation of getting to be involved with it and everything too was amazing. Anyway, the point is that, I did the Doctor and William. I did with Tony back in the day, The Sign of a True D Fan. I did Demento Revolution with MC Lars. I did Come On Ride the Bus about the story of, Another One Rides the Bus being done on the show that day. I've certainly done tons and tons of things that show my, like at FuMPFest, I sang lead on the cover of Let's All Get Demented by Ivor Biggin. It's like I've certainly, publicly made my love and affection for him and the show and what it means to me, abundant. So I'll save putting it into words for sometime down the road when anyway, but yeah, it was very nice to see everyone's like outpouring of emotions and memories and telling Barry how much they mean to him. And I'm glad that this is being done in a way that will give us time to spend a little more time with him in the show, in some manner up until October, so that it didn't just abruptly end or something like that.
Yeah, that's my feeling too. I'm really glad he's giving the show like a proper send off, and we have time to kind of mentally prepare for this. And and it is a proper ending rather than just like what Netflix does and end shows and we never see them again.
Yeah, it's like, I've been mentally preparing myself for this for years. I was telling Kalani once that I did some back in, I don't know if you remember this, Devo, you might, there was a radio guy in Chicago who I think he's still there, but he's known as Man-Cow Muller.
Oh yeah.
And he was kind of one of those, yeah. So I actually, connected with him, and I did a parody of It's Tricky for his show called It's Man-Cow and stuff. And so back then I actually, this was like 1997, when my first albums came out, and I remember being on the phone with him once. This was off the air, but I was still on the phone with him once, and I was talking about Dr. Demento. This is 97. He says to me, his show's not going to be around that much longer, right? And for the sake of being agreeable, I was like, yeah, I know it's not going to be around much longer. And then, now I'm just thinking to myself, screw you, it's 2025. It's 28 years later, he's still here. So
I hate it when people say, like, you want to say something to try to one up you, but I have a story that I've never told.
Cut out on me.
Yeah, my bandwidth is at 0. Hang on, let's wait to see if the bandwidth comes back. It's struggling, but it seems to be getting better. Is that my back?
I mean, it seems fine now.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to one up you or anything, but I do have a story along those lines. Back when I first went to college, I met my friend Alex. Now, this would have been fall of 1991, and I discovered Alex was also a fan of Dr. Demento, and he had one of the compilation albums that I didn't have at the time. It was like Demento's Mementos or one of those, and as I had one, he had the other. And we were talking about how old Dr. Demento was, and Alex turned to me and said, yeah, and in 10 years he'll be dead. And I was like, oh, that's dark. And this was 1991. So, I'm very glad Alex was wrong. Bandwidth! Come back! Jesus Christ, I hate this. All right.
Well, let me just finish up, kind of the, news reporting part of this, just to say that Jeff Morris posted a list of what the, topics will be coming up between now and October 11th, which is October 11th will be the all-time top 40. But just to kind of briefly explain it, it's like every other week it's going to be a retrospective, based on like a chunk of time. So it'll be, 1970s part 1, then 2 weeks later, 1970s part 2, 1980s part 1, 1980s part 2, 90s part 1, etc. So that's going to be a thing. And then the alternate weeks, it looks like the flashbacks are going to be like specific episodes from the past. Like it says June 14th is flashback to KMET, March 14th, 1976. And June 28th says flashback to KMAT, December 16th, 1979. Then the next one after that's from 1980. Next one after that's 1981, 1974. So, there's stuff like that coming along. So there's still going to be plenty of cool stuff to listen to and have him take us walk down memory lane, for the next 4 months with the help of Jeff Morris, of course. So, yeah. And I also want to say that, going back to me being so happy that the Doctor and William, that something told me to do that, is that it made Dr. Demento's top 10 for the month at number 5, which means that, if he's not doing the top 10s anymore, which kind of seems like that's the case, the Doctor and William made the last top 10 ever on the Dr. Demento show.
Yeah.
So
I was very happy to see
pretty
that.
Cool. So, and it's not just me, it's got you and Tony and Ian and Shoebox and Chris on it too. So, a chock full of FuMPy goodness. And Steve made the top 10 as well with his my wife. What's the title of it officially?
My wife's in a 5-way.
My wife's, yeah. So anyway, so that's a thing.
Yes, that's a thing. The only other news I have is the FuMPFest IndieGoGo documentary is up to $4,128, which is 61% of the way to their $6,700 goal. All right. You got anything else before tour dates?
Yes. Well, first of all, let me just check. My item has sold. Yep, it sold to Danny Chamberlain for $13.27. Yay!
All right, Danny!
Woo! Mid-South Con in the house. So that was the thing I did. Another cool thing is that today, I believe, is the... What?
No, it's just the way you said that.
No. Today is the premiere of season 5 of Phineas and Ferb, which is a big deal because the show, ended, a whole bunch of years ago, and now Disney has brought it back for a new season, and that show has funny songs in pretty much every episode. Well, turns out our friend Whitney Avalon co-wrote 6 of the songs on that show.
Oh, nice.
In the coming season. So she posted about that today, and that's super awesome. So I guess, watch Phineas and Ferb on the Disney Channel, Disney XD, and I believe the episodes air the next day on Disney Plus. So I'll get to watch the episode tomorrow and see if it's one of her songs or not. But in any way, it's a great, funny show. Have you seen the clips of the live stuff they did at the Phineas and Ferb premiere?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, because they had bands on stage and they had people performing songs from Phineas and Ferb. There's a ton of clips of I forgot the 2 actresses' names, Olivia something and Ashley Tisdale, I think it is, singing the song "Busted." But I have to assume that they did "Platypus Control Me," because why wouldn't they?
Yeah.
Because Dan Povenmire does that song all the time on TikTok. So anyway, but yeah, go search around for those footage of all that stuff. It was pretty epic from what I saw. Anyway, that was the only other news I could think of for right now.
So on Phineas and Ferb, is Perry the Platypus going to give Dr. Doofenshmirtz an extended lick? All right. Tour dates.
He makes that noise when he does it.
Yep. On Sundays in Nashville, Tennessee, Steve Goodie hosting at the Bluebird. Sundays online, 2 Sleeps. Last Sunday of each month on Facebook, Lauren Mayer. Mondays online, Steve Goodie and Brad Tassel at virtualcomedyshow.com. Wednesdays in San Francisco, California, Ben Vicini. On the 6th in Sacramento, California, Phil Johnson and Roadside Attraction. On the 6th in Baldwin, Missouri, Mikey Mason. On the 6th in Doylestown, Pennsylvania, Carla Ulbrich. On the 7th in Del Mar, New York, Drew Jacobs. On the 7th in Visalia, California, Phil Johnson and Roadside Attraction. On the 8th on YouTube, Escape from the Secret Lab featuring the Consortium of Genius. On the 11th in Long Island City, New York, David W. Jacobson. On the 12th in Livermore, California, Phil Johnson and Roadside Attraction. On the 13th in Albany, New York, Drew Jacobs. On the 13th in Santa Rosa, California, Phil Johnson and Roadside Attraction. On the 13th online, Carla Ulbrich. On the 14th in Jersey City, New Jersey, David W. Jacobson. On the 14th in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, Stu Sauce. And on the 15th in Hollywood, Florida, Stu Sauce. And birthdays, we have a new one to add to the list from the other day. On the 2nd, Beth Kinderman celebrated a birthday. And coming up on the 8th, Jessica Delfino. Happy birthday, ladies. All right. Second song of the week, recorded live at Dr. Demento's birthday party. Here is Carla Ulbrich featuring Bill Larkin with Let's Get Demented.
Everyone's stressed out from all that I've heard. I'm pretty sure Elmo just flipped me the bird. It could drive you to madness, so you can't carry on. But you can't lose your mind if it's already gone. So wind up your radio. Let's get demented.
Gentlemen and all you ladios, let's get demented.
Tell your kin,
tell your twin
that the doctor is in.
Let's get demented. They say you need meds. What you might need instead is some cocktails for 2 or a boot to the head. Sure, some of these singers are twisted or sick, like Lehrer.
Silverstein.
And again, we're hoping we're pronouncing this right, Yankovic.
Wind
up your radio. Let's get demented. You took my phone call back in the 80s. Let's get demented. There's stacks.
Oh, there's stacks
of laughing wax. Let's get demented.
Oh, we've all come to honor this great pioneer. Except though for Dave.
Who, Dave? Dave's not here. Wind up your radio. Let's get demented. With the millions of records he's played-o. Let's get demented. Let's get numb. Let's get dumb.
Fish heads! Eat them up young.
Let's get. They're coming to take me away. Ha ha! And I don't care. As long as they get KMET. Dead puppies are fun.
Wait, what? They're gonna put you in the ASPCA.
Joke's on them. They won't have me.
Don't look, Ethel. It's too late. She's already been mooned.
Yep.
Hey, meet me at Pico's Pulvita. And let's get demented. Happy birthday.
Carla, Ulbrich, and Bill Larkin.
I am here with Carla Ulbrich and Bill Larkin. Welcome to the show, guys.
Thank you.
Hello, all. Thanks for having us.
Great to have you here. Welcome, Bill. This is I believe, your first time on the show.
I believe so, yeah.
So, I'd ask you to introduce yourself, but our audience knows who you are, so it doesn't matter.
Shucks. It's good to see everybody.
I'll introduce him, the amazingly talented and funny Bill Larkin.
Oh,
Yes.
no. Go on. Oh, that's it. All right.
From Chicago. Coming to you from Chicago. I don't know. You're
Yeah,
not
well, the air quality is not good right now. I'm glad I'm indoors. It's like, it's been bad for a while, but even now it's like they're telling people to stay in. So glad I'm here with all of you.
I think the first time I heard Bill's music was on Comedy Central. You performed the Twin song, right? On some special.
Yeah.
I remember seeing that, and I thought it was hysterical. And then the song that was on one of the Dr. Demento basement tapes, I'm Just Your Mom,
Oh, yes, right.
broke me because it might have been your mother, but it was my grandmother. Oh my God. It was exactly. So I played it for my father, and he's sitting there going, "Oh God, yeah."
Yeah. It was one of the few songs I wrote about. I had a whole family album, but a lot of it was just made up. It's like, but that one was pretty true to form in terms of my own mom. And thank goodness she has a sense of humor about it.
So tell us about this song.
Well, as you know, and you were there, we were invited to Dr. Demento's birthday celebration back in April. And people don't live forever, so you never know when the last birthday party is going to be. He may just stop having birthday parties or make them smaller or whatever. So I wanted to, since we were invited, I wanted to do something special to honor him. And so I figured at 84, he probably doesn't need any more stuff. So a song might be less cluttering than giving him more stuff. And
I hear he likes music. You could have gotten him a CD.
One that he doesn't already have at least one copy of, though. I mean, he certainly knows about more novelty music better than I do. He's Dr. Demento after all. But so I thought, I want to do a tribute song to Dr. Demento, and I would love an excuse to collaborate with Bill. So, Bill and I wrote this together over Zoom, and then, of course, as you heard, we performed it at the birthday party after a quick run through.
Yeah. So this is a live recording from the birthday party.
Yes.
Cool. So what was it like collaborating over Zoom?
Well, haven't we done that before, Bill? Didn't we do it on something else?
We had been meeting up on Zoom just to, kind of just be creative and share notes with each other and kind of motivate each other creatively. I think, to be clear, Carla did the heavy lifting on this song. It was like her idea, and what was great about it was we just, just thought, okay, this rhymes with this. Okay, what references to certain, really demented songs and skits should we throw in? And it was just that, and we threw everything against the wall. And yeah, I think it was maybe 2 or 3 Zooms that we basically had solidified everything. And Carla's the one who got it out there, got it recorded. And
well, to be fair, Luke Ski recorded it.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah, he captured it on his,
Yeah.
Yeah, he captured it on his Zoom recorder, and then when I got the recording, I had to tweak it some because I forgot that we were being recorded, so I didn't stand near the mic, so I was kind of off to the side, so I had to do a little studio magic to make it sound listenable instead of kind of off balance, because you were right in front of the mic. So your Elmo part was really loud originally before we remastered it and mixed it.
Yeah.
It was like, I think Elmo just flipped me the bird. It was frightening.
That could be disconcerting. Yeah.
Yeah. It was more startling than funny. So so we had, and it was fun. The audience to sing along and everything. It was really. I was happy with how it came out with a little tweaking.
Yeah.
It sounds great. Yeah, the end result sounds great.
Thanks. Yeah. So we wouldn't even have a recording if Luke hadn't put that recorder up. And if Bill had agreed to do this, it was one of the things that you contributed to the song, Bill, was I had the song wanted to rhyme radio. And I'm like, how do you rhyme that? There's not many words. That's a 3-syllable rhyme, radio. And then I said, oh, gentlemen, all you ladios. And then you came up with, he played my song in the 80os, and then whatever the last rhyme is, that was you. You're like, let's do this throughout the whole song.
It's strange. Yeah, at that point, it's like, well, we kind of have more freedom now, a little bit. It's like we can, yeah.
And that's a great running gag in this song. It really is. Yeah.
So I love Bill's sense of comedy. Is very simpatico. And then we got to play together the next day at Sulu's, and that night at Kulak's.
That was a surreal week in Los Angeles because I went there for a couple of different shows and events, but it was Dr. Demento's birthday, which kind of just happened. Like it wasn't originally scheduled for my trip. That turned out to be the highlight of the entire trip. The fact that I was able to sing that song with you and then celebrate the doctor's birthday and me meeting him for the first time, having heard him for over, I'm going to say it started in 81, 82. So whatever that is, 43 years, meeting him after all this time was surreal and wonderful.
You somehow missed him at FuMPFest, right?
I did. I had missed him by a day. He left that Saturday, and I tried to get there, couldn't do it. Performed Sunday, it was great, but yeah, I had just missed him.
Can I do a screen share of our pictures?
Yeah, if it'll let you.
Let's see if it'll allow me. I just have 2 to share. Let's see. But just 2 pictures from the weekend that was. Oh, wait. Where did my Zoom call go? I don't know what I'm doing.
You're still on screen, so I can see you.
You know more about this.
Oh, there. Now I see you, and now I see the screen share. Okay. And my Mac is a 2012, and it still works. Me on the other hand.
Forever.
Okay, let's see. Here's me and Bill singing this song. Or about to sing the song.
Oh,
and there's the Zoom recorder. You can see it right there with its orange little head.
Do I have a latte in hand? What am I holding? Or is that a mic? No, that's a phone.
Usually there aren't many lattes that light up your chest like that.
Yeah. Well, mine do.
You shouldn't be drinking that. Except right before a PET scan.
Oh, I see. This is one of the few pictures that were taken when the door was open. So you can actually see what's happening here. Because it was dark in that place.
Oh, yeah. It was. Yeah.
The pizza parlor where the party, was. And then I'll share another one of the birthday boy. For anyone who hasn't seen this already, there's Dr. Demento. Without the top hat.
Yeah.
He looks so much like my dad. It's really strange.
And that cake was Christopher, what's his name? Christopher Port? No.
Chris Bay.
Chris Bay.
Right?
Yeah. It was his present was a fake vinyl record cover
Yeah,
It was a
I'll show it
parody
again.
of Alan Sherman's first album, My Son the Folk Singer. And it says My Son the Birthday Boy, and it's got a picture of that. It's tough to see in this picture, but it's Dr. Demento playing the
ukulele, right?
either a guitar or ukulele or something like that. Yeah.
And
So
then
it's a
somebody's putting out a cake with a fire extinguisher.
yeah. So they had the full. He had a full 12x12 cardboard sleeve printed up as a present, and then he had the image printed on the cake. Which the cake was delicious, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's a very swanky bakery that all the celebrities go. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's what I heard. Yeah.
Yeah, Sulu knows her stuff. Yeah, I think Sulu took care of the birthday party. She
did.
They had a gag cake too.
Yes.
That said happy bat mitzvah. Who? Edna, Gladys?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, I don't remember.
They pretended to get the cakes mixed up, and then they brought out the real cake.
Yeah.
But it was so nice to see all the love in the room for Dr. Demento.
Yes.
And to honor him while he's here.
Yeah.
And
I was so glad that, like, me, Luke, and Tony were able to perform, the Doctor and William for him while he was right there. With the help from Shoebox and Ian and Chris, and everyone else. And Steve performed a couple of songs, and it was just such a cool event. And
Sulu performed.
That's right.
And, yeah, I think everybody did a tribute kind of song.
Yeah.
It was really nice. So, which also meant there was a few jokes that overlapped, but that's all right.
That's fine. That's what we do.
That's it. Yeah.
And you could clearly hear Sulu on your recording at the end of the song.
I know, singing along. Well, yeah, she was sitting pretty close to where the mic was.
Yeah.
But that was a great weekend, and I'm so glad that you got to come, Bill, and so glad Bill was already going to be out there, and then I was like, oh, well, you have to come to this.
And again, the circumstances were just surreal. It was just happenstance so that it all happened, and then all the shows that I had come to do had already happened. So I was like, I really get to end the whole week in style. And
that's great.
Party was the best best possibly have.
Yeah, that was a really, really fun day, and an honor to be a part of it. And I don't understand why he doesn't have a star on the Walk of Fame. That needs to be rectified.
It does.
But at least we all get to tell him how very, very loved he is, and how much we appreciate him, how much he meant to all of us. He's created this tribe of people with warped sets of humor that all get each other.
Oh, he got me through my teenage years. Honestly, he is like age 12, 13. I discovered it on my Boston radio station. My twin brother, and I couldn't believe. I wish I could tell you what we were listening to, but I know we would listen each Sunday after that. And then Two Dreadful Children came on, which is the one song we had called in. It's the one time we got on the air in '83. And we were hooked, and we would tape from our cassette player and play it for kids at school, and we felt like the coolest people in the world. Like, we're letting you discover this. You have no idea what this is. He made childhood just a bit more bearable.
Yeah.
So that Two Dreadful Children, you're talking about the Cruella de Vil.
Yeah.
I love that song.
When you called in, what did you say when you called into the show? When you guys were 12 or 13?
Oh yeah, we were and we had a whole script planned, and we were like, and it was Grandpa Choco who actually gave me a recording of it. It was like, oh, you found no, it was
Jeff Morris, right?
Yes, Jeff Morris, who got from and then gave it to Grant, and then Grant gave it to me. But yeah, he found the file, and it's like it was just so. It's like,
what did you say?
We're twins. We listen to you. We're Two Dreadful Children. Fought over a T-shirt. We got one T-shirt, but there's two of us, so we fought over it constantly. Yeah.
Couldn't just buy another one. You had to fight over it.
Nope. We wanted the one.
Yeah. I hear you. Well, that was it was really fun working with you, Bill, and performing with you over the course of the weekend. That was really fun. And we played the menopause song the next day at Sulu's, and I forgot to tell you what I was going to do at the ending. Otherwise, we'd have a great recording of that too.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. And oh my gosh, what a wonderful open mic of people coming up and playing their signature songs. And I met so many people I hadn't had the chance that I'd heard before, but never got the chance to meet. That was, and being at Sulu's place too. I mean, what a beautiful, beautiful place.
Yeah.
She's the hostess with the mostest.
Yeah, that was an amazing event.
Yes.
Yeah. So,
all right. So, do you guys have anything you'd like to plug?
Carla.
Well, I'm playing in Doylestown, Pennsylvania this Friday. And I don't really think much beyond that.
Fair. Okay.
Then I get it all mixed up if I try to think. And then I don't know what's then. Then I go to bed. That's what happens.
Sounds right. Yeah.
Bill?
I have a Twitch channel, Bill Larkin Music. I improvise parody songs on the stream. I do it most Mondays and Wednesdays. And I don't know if anybody's going to be in Blue Island, Illinois on Sunday, June 22nd, but Chad the Bird, if anybody is familiar with Chad the Bird, if you're not, follow Chad the Bird. He and I are doing a live show at Blue Island Beer Company. And just like Carla said, beyond that, I figure it out and I sleep.
All right.
It's gonna be a fun show. And I am a regular tuner-inner to Bill's stream, and I can attest that it is really fun. It's a very fun show.
I'm a regular viewer of Carla's too, which is a wonderful
Mutual Admiration Society.
Yeah, occasional Friday show, which is the best.
Yeah, I'm only on once a month with my live stream, but yeah, Bill is like he is fire with that piano and the making up songs on the spot, stuff I sit there and agonize over for 3 days.
I know. Yeah, yeah, as a rapper, I've tried freestyling and I'm okay at it. I can't imagine like freestyling a parody. Just not going to happen.
You have to be okay with occasionally bombing.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, there's an occasional. Oh, yeah. Glad you used that word.
But even when you bomb, you're hilarious. That's the key. Like Johnny Carson, you're like, ooh.
That's just like, exactly.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
And we look forward to more from you guys.
It's good to see you.
You too.
Yes.
Making the internet absolutely ridiculous. Dementia Radio. www.dementiaradio.org. Port 8027.
Please hang up and try again.
This is the part where there's feedback.
Feedback.
Feedback, you know that segment of the show we do about now?
Feedback. Feedback.
Feedback.
Feedback.
A-Log! Oh my god, it's you, not again!
A-Log wrote, a tribute album for Dr. Demento would be a great idea. The only issue would be finding several of the artists who have most of these songs in the unreleased tape vault and contacting them to have their song on the album. Speaking of which, there is a parody song about the doc I still have to write. Thank you, A-Log. And that's all the feedback we got this week. So...
Teasing. He's a teasing kind of guy. Now you have a job.
Yeah. Tomorrow's song is by a side project of Paul Wensley. So technically it's a new artist, but it's Paul Wensley. And Tuesday's song is by Jefferson De Leon. All right, I need a Spotify playlist topic. I was considering doing Dr. Demento as a playlist topic, but are there enough songs about him on Spotify? Because none of the ones we've done are up yet.
Yeah, it might be better to save that for down the road or something.
Yeah, I'll do that. I'll do that like once FuMP 110 and 111 go up.
Yeah.
Yeah, just so the people at home are aware, there was an issue with the cover of FuMP 110, so I had to resubmit it with a slight alteration. So it has been accepted now, and it will be coming up in a week or two on Spotify and the other places that have very strict rules about what can go on a cover. So anyway, we still have FuMP artists we could do. Have we done Ian yet?
No, I don't think we have.
Okay, let's do Ian.
Ian!
Ian! Let's do
Another
Ian.
person.
Guess the context. All right. All right. Joe J. Thomas is at joesdump.com. Carla Ulbrich is at carlau.com. Bill Larkin is at billlarkin.com. And Dr. Demento is at drdemento.com. You got anything else?
I don't have anything else other than I'm looking at the spreadsheet you just sent me.
Okay. Yeah, I'm still working on that. And I just realized we may have a whole bunch of other places to choose from. So that's why I sent it to you. But let's get out of here. Thank you for listening to the Funny Music Podcast. I'm Devo Spice.
I'm Luke Ski. And Bill Larkin was here for the first time.
Thank you for listening to the Funny Music Podcast. You can listen live every Thursday night at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 Pacific at DementiaRadio.org and join us in the chat. Or subscribe to the podcast feed. Look us up on iTunes and be sure to leave us a review. Feedback for the show can be sent to info@thefump.com. The Funny Music Podcast is a production of FIDEM Interactive, LLC, released under a Creative Commons share-alike license. Tell your friends, tell your enemies, shout it to random people on the street. And be sure to visit thefump.com for the latest funny songs. Tune in next week where you'll hear Luke Ski say...
Insert Curry the Platypus noise here.